Are we ready to do this? All right. Well, good morning. My name is Aaron McAllister, and I serve as the Deputy Fire Chief for Contra Costa County Fire District. And for much of this project, I served as the Support Services Assistant Chief, and it's been my pleasure to be involved in this project pretty early. I came to Confire about a little over 3 years ago, and Chief Brochard says to me one day, "Come on, let's go. We're going to a meeting with the architects in Walnut Creek. We're going to build a new fire station." And I thought, okay, this is going to be fun. Well, it hasn't always been fun. But we're there. We're there, and we have a lot to celebrate today. So thank you for joining us, and we're happy we've reached this critical milestone. A few folks with us today that I want to recognize. From our Fire District Board of Directors, Candace Anderson is here with us today. Representing Diane Burgess is Teresa Geringer. And representing Kara Mitchoff is Annie O. The Director of Public Works is here today, Brian Balbus. And from our partners at the City of Lafayette, Mike Anderson, the Mayor. And the Vice Mayor, Susan Candell. Councilmember Stephen Bliss. From the City Manager's Office, Naroop. Teresa. Councilmember Teresa Geringer. And from our partners at Lafayette Police Department, Chief Ben Aldrich. A couple former council members, I believe, that are here. Former Mayor Erling Horn? No. Tracy Riley? Former Mayor Don Tatson? All right, our fire... Yes. Brant Anderson, former mayor. Yes, thank you. We have a few representatives of the Contra Costa Fire Commission here today. Matt Gashard. Thank you, Matt. Tom Chapman. And former Fire Commissioner Bill Granados. Thank you, Bill. Kind of moving into some Contra Costa County Fire representatives, we have Local 1230 President Vince Wells. Of course, Fire Chief Louis Brochard. And we're happy to be joined by the Fire Chief at the time this project started and got it off the ground, Jeff Carman. Thank you for being here. A few members of the senior staff from Contra Costa Fire, Fire Marshal Chris Bachman, Assistant Fire Chief Lon Getch, Assistant Fire Chief Chuck Stark, Assistant Fire Chief Terrence Carey, Assistant Chief Will Pigeon, and Interim Assistant Chief Mike Casada. I was looking for Jackie, our Chief of Administrative Services. I don't know that I saw her. Jackie, if you're here, thank you for being here. All right. The Local 1230 Honor Guard is here, and they're going to post the colors for us. So, Honor Guard.
Arm. Order. Arm. Left. Face. Forward. Arm.
If you'll remain standing and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. I'd like to invite up Father Robert.
Good morning. It's a great honor to be here with all of you this morning. My name is Father Robert Reen, and I am the fire chaplain for the East Contra Costa County Fire Protection District. But since 2001, I've had the great privilege of serving Confire for a significant number of ceremonies, beginning with the 9/11 observance, the very first 9/11 in 2001. It was Vince Wells who invited me on behalf of the fire department to preside for that service, and it was held in Concord. And ever since then, I've been invited back repeatedly, so I guess I passed the test. And I'm honored to be here today for the opening of this wonderful new Station 16. Today, we stand on a foundation of history, a tradition of over 200 years. The dedication and the blessing of buildings are recorded far back into antiquity in both the Jewish as well as in Christian scriptures. In each of these dedications, it was clear that God's blessing and protection was being sought. As we come together this morning, we are grateful for the construction of Station 16 and all those who have made it possible, from the architects to the contractors and all those who use their building skills to make it a reality. We dedicate and bless this new station and all of its contents, as well as rededicating ourselves, fire district leadership, firefighter paramedics, engineers, our civilian staff, the apparatus and all the tools of fire service to the emergency needs of the people of Lafayette and surrounding communities. This new station will be home to our firefighters for each of their shifts. They will work, eat, sleep, rest, study, train, and relax here. It will house their engine and all the tools of firefighting and medical emergency response. We are pleased to have this new station, which will be a second home for the firefighters who will serve your community. It is appropriate today for us to ask God's blessing upon this new station and its firefighters, to offer gratitude and thanksgiving, as well as to pray for their protection as they protect, defend, and serve this community. And so now I invite you to join me in closing your eyes. Let us bow our heads as our hearts are united in the prayer of dedication and blessing. Gracious and loving God, you who are known by many faces and many names, we are thankful to you for your great goodness, for the gift and the blessing of this beautiful morning, and the privilege of gathering together for the blessing and the dedication of this new fire station. We ask for your blessing upon the station, upon our firefighters, upon their skills, talents, and abilities, as they meet the emergency needs of the people of Lafayette and beyond. We are humbled that you have brought us together, that you allow us to witness this great beginning. We are appreciative of all the gifts which you bestow upon us, for this new station that many firefighters will call home for many years to come, a place from which they can respond to calls for help, a place where they can hone their skills and train to be even more proficient at everything that they are asked to do. Help them to use this new station, its apparatus, its tools, the skill and the knowledge you have allowed them to acquire in a way that will help all the residents of this community to appreciate and recognize them for all that they do in its service, to save lives, to protect and to preserve property, to bind up the brokenhearted, to comfort those who are hurting or grieving or fearful. Walk with them and be by their side at every fire, at every medical incident to which they respond. Protect them and all the members of our fire district as they give of themselves to the job which they have been called. We are reminded again today that there is no greater love than this, than to lay down one's life for others. And so it is in the name of and through the intercession of St. Florian, the patron saint of all firefighters and all fire districts, that we ask your blessing for this new station and all of its firefighters. All glory be to you now and forever. Amen.
Thank you, Father. All right, I'd like to invite up Fire Chief Louis Brochard.
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you all for being here. I apologize for the sunglasses, but they're prescription and I wouldn't be able to see you or read without them, so bear with me. You know, it's remarkable. It's humbling to see everybody here this morning. Many of us recounted to a question, did we ever think that we would actually see this day? I would ask some of you not to answer that. But for everybody else, the answer was yes, and it's amazing that we're here today to celebrate the rebirth, if you will, of Fire Station 16. So real quick, just a special welcome to the members of our Board of Directors and our Advisory Fire Commission, our County Administrator and his staff, Mayor Anderson, City Council members past and present, many of whom had significant dealings with this project going back many years. Our project team, and especially our neighbors. They've patiently endured many, many months of construction amidst their daily lives, so thank you very much. It's been a long road that's led us to this event today, and thank you all for enduring that journey with us. Fire stations are special places. They're special to our personnel who live, eat, sleep, and work within them, often spending the equivalent of 1/3 of their lives in these facilities. And they're also special to the communities that they serve and represent. Sometimes they're referred to firehouses as opposed to fire stations. And that's appropriate because that's really what they are. They're a house, a home for the personnel who serve within them and are called from them at all hours of the day or night to provide that critical emergency response to whoever may call. One of the greatest days in a fire chief's career is a day like today, the opening of a new firehouse. Just doesn't happen that often for us. I can tell you frankly that one of the worst days is when that decision is made to close a firehouse for economic reasons or otherwise. Some 7 years ago, we made that decision to shutter the original Fire Station 16 amid severe economic challenges related to the Great Recession and equally severe infrastructure challenges with the facility itself. It was necessary, along with the many station closures throughout the district, but it was heart-wrenching all the same. Fast forward through the last 7 years, and I realize that's a huge fast forward, but let's just fast forward through the 7 years. And frankly, we've been able to see a steady improvement in the district's ability to reopen previously closed fire stations, rebuild stations that were necessary, and that is probably the biggest challenge. This wasn't just reopening a station, it wasn't just putting a crew here, it was rebuilding. Rebuilding started with taking out that wonderful double-wide trailer we were all so fond of and removing it from the premises, demolishing the old fire station, clearing the site, and then beginning the process of constructing a new modern fire station that we all see behind me. Fire Station 16 is, and always has been, very important because this beautiful neighborhood is in the middle of what we refer to as the wildland-urban interface, the area where homes meet and mix with California's beautiful but sometimes volatile combination of hills and dense flammable vegetation. As we've all witnessed, from the 1991 Oakland Hills fire to the more recent fires throughout Northern California, we live in a place of beauty, but also in a place of significant risk during these dry summer months. This new fire station, situated in that wildland-urban interface and within a designated very high fire hazard severity zone, will provide us with a renewed response capacity in this especially vulnerable area of our fire district. In addition, the improved coverage and response times, both in the immediate area of Fire Station 16 and across the district, will contribute to our overall mission of preservation of life, property, and the environment. We're committing to serving all of our communities across the district, and Station 16 will soon rejoin our network of firefighters and resources, making it a tangible demonstration of that commitment to providing the needed emergency response resources to this community as well as the fire district as a whole. The project also demonstrates the district's continued commitment to responsible stewardship of public resources with a plan for smart growth to continue to meet the needs of all of our communities. But we couldn't have built a new fire station alone without the help of our partners. Chief McAllister will introduce our entire project team in a moment, but I'd like to personally acknowledge the support and partnership of our board of directors, the county administrator and his staff, our advisory fire commission, and the city of Lafayette, without which this project would never have come to fruition. On a very personal note, I would like to thank our fire district staff, Deputy Chief Aaron McAllister, Interim Assistant Fire Chief Mike Casada, Chief of Administrative Services Jackie Larekovich, and our Facilities Manager Wendy Riley for their commitment to this project and seeing it through to completion. They lived it every day, and this is a tribute to their tenacity and commitment not just to the district but to the people of Lafayette. We all thought that this fire station would be completed prior to Jeff Carmen's retirement. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. Things got in the way and schedules just took longer than we thought. But Chief Carmen is here with us today, and I have to say a big thank you, sir, for being the visionary and vanguard that you were as our fire chief and doing what you did to get this project literally off the ground and getting us where we are today. So thank you very much. Equally important, thanks to all the friends and neighbors of Confire and Station 16. Many of you are here today, and I appreciate your continued support and patience through the lengthy planning, design, and construction process. We're all very proud of this new addition to the fire district, and as the community itself actually chose the design of the station, we hope that the finished product that you see before you has exceeded your expectations as a new addition to your neighborhood. In a few moments, will symbolically push Engine 16 into her new home and give each of you a first look at the station from the inside. Following today's ceremony, we'll put the final finishing touches on this facility in the coming days, and after an absence of many, many years, Engine 16 and her crew will once again watch over this part of Lafayette from Los Arabas Drive. On behalf of our entire team here at Confire, thank you again for taking the time to celebrate this momentous occasion with us today. It's been a very long road, and thank you so much for being here. So with that, I'd like to introduce one of the important leaders who's committed and contributed much to this project and the district. Come on up, Candace. Our Vice Chair of our Fire District Board and the County Board of Supervisors representing District 2, Candace Anderson.
I cannot tell you how excited I am to be here today. This truly is a long time coming. Today, not only are we celebrating a beautiful building that stands behind me, but we're celebrating a much greater level of fire safety in the La Miranda area, in all of Contra Costa County, and in the Bay Area. When I first joined the County Board of Supervisors, which sits as the Contra Costa Fire Protection District Board as well, it was in June of 2012. The fire district was in dire financial straits at that time. We were coming out of the recession. Property taxes had plummeted, which are the sole true source of revenue that we receive for the fire district. And we were starting to look at cutting fire stations. I did not want to see fire stations closed. I did not want to see this fire station closed, even though it had not been operational for several years because the double-wide portable had some serious construction livability issues as well. Nevertheless, Fire Station 16 was shut down. It was destaffed. We no longer had them staffed at Fire Station 15. And we began a process. The Lafayette City Council, particularly I've got to thank Tracy and Brandt, who really just started the deep dive of how are we going to keep this community safe with the 2 fire stations we currently have. What are our long-term goals going to be to really have a fire-safe community? We partnered with MOFD for a while. We thought we were going to have the fabulous Fire Station 46. And soon we realized maybe that wasn't the best partnership for them and for us as well. And so we moved on. And through the leadership, I've got to thank both Chief Carmen and his assistant chief at the time, now Chief Burchard. They said, we can pull this off. We think we can do this. And they were able to demonstrate to my fellow supervisors, my fellow board members, there is a significant need for safety for our community to get this station rebuilt, not just sometime down in the future, but immediately. And thus the hard work began. And so I am grateful today that we're at this point. Yes, there were some bumps along the way, and I'm grateful to those partners that got some of those bumps resolved so that we could be opening today. But I am just honored to be here, honored that we have a fire district that recognizes the significant need we have in our community to have resources where they're most desperately needed. So thank you all for being here, and thank you for the part each of you played in bringing us here today.
Thank you. I'd like to invite up the Mayor of Lafayette, Mike Anderson.
So it's very exciting to have this open, and what's interesting is that we have the start of the Lafayette fire protection system right here in Old Betsy, 1919. Things have changed a little bit since then. I think we've recognized we might need a little more space for personnel. I don't know. A couple of guys and a dog, they could do it in those days. We are so pleased to have this open, but I want to also note we're so pleased for the efforts of Fire Station 15 and 17, which remained our protection while this process was ongoing, and it was a long process. And then I realized that the distance between those stations and this area is a concern. And that's why this station has to be put back in place, and it will be. But their vigilance at 15 and 17, their willingness to be flexible, is something we in the city truly appreciate. It's part of our community, you're part of our community, and we thank you for that. Fire Station 16, I hear, has a staff that's now bunking at Fire Station 15. Is that true? Oh, that's got to be really fun. You're going to have your own place. That's going to be great. And when you come here, what we appreciate is the fact that you're so close to an urban interface issue that has ramifications for the entire region. This area is difficult to negotiate. The streets are narrow, and we're sitting next to open space that has a great potential for being a problem. So thank you, and thank you in advance for your dedication and sacrifice to protect this part of our community and the region. I have one other thing I wanted to bring along. This is not a bottle of wine, although a lot of people have guessed that's what it is. It's actually a flag, the City of Lafayette flag, and I know we're not raising the flag today, but I want to provide this to the chief. When you're ready, when the station's going to open, this can be added to the flag staff. Hopefully it will fly for many, many years. And we, of course, will be very proud to see that this station not only is a new building, but provides a new aspect of safety and concern and security for our community. So thank you for that in advance, and I'll be happy to hand the flag to the chief. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We're fortunate to have a strong labor management partnership, and representing labor today, we have the president of Local Firefighters 1230, Vince Wells.
I guess since my glasses aren't prescription, I got to take them off on Chief. Anyway, good afternoon, or still morning, I guess. I just want to say welcome to all the dignitaries, members of the community, firefighters, and all those that were involved in the construction of Fire Station 16. So as both a fire captain and a president of our union, this is a great day for our organization and for the fire district. Opening the new Station 16 is a major step towards restoring services to Western Lafayette and the surrounding communities. It took a lot of work to get here, so I'd like to thank Chief McAllister, Chief Carmen, the members of the new City Council, as well as the City Council members that were here at the time, and our Board of Supervisors, especially Director Anderson. So as the president of 1230, since 2008, this is a special day for me. As we work through the economic crisis that led to the closure of 7 fire stations and 21 less firefighters on duty, it is nice to be in the position to see this station reopen. As a firefighter, we see firsthand the impacts of the lack of resources. We get to feel the impacts of being shorthanded or getting there too late. I personally spent a lot of time along with others here, as you heard about. I was part of a lot of those meetings as we worked together to try to come up with a solution when the station was closed, as far as, and prior to making the decision to restore it during those meetings, but we got here today, so I'm proud of that. The rebuilding and reopening of Station 16 will be great for the community of Lafayette and the surrounding areas. Reestablishing an engine company benefits the entire system. It gives us the ability to get necessary resources to where they need to be in time enough to make a difference. So once again, I want to thank, like I said, the members of the community. I want to thank all of those, the City Council, Board of Supervisors, our Chief, especially Chief McAllister and Chief Carmen and Burchard for all your efforts. It's a great day. And just for a note, I bid into this station, so I can't wait to move in.
All right. So these projects don't happen by themselves. We had a very dedicated team of professionals associated with the project. And I'd like to introduce our project team that worked day in and day out to literally bring this thing out of the ground. The architects for the project were LCA from Walnut Creek, and they're represented here today by Carl Campos and Greg Barton. Carl and Greg, thank you. Our construction managers for the project was Kitchell, and they're represented today by Bill Johal and Steve Dewan. Our general contractor for the project was DL Falk, and I didn't see Dave Falk, but their team was Dave Falk, Angela Rains, and Brian Adams, the superintendent on site every day. Thank you. There's Dave. Thank you. You can't build a multi-million-dollar fire station without legal counsel, and from the Office of County Counsel was Eric Gelston and Tom Geiger. Thank you, gentlemen. From County Capital Projects Management, we had Brian Balbus, Will Wabe, and Ramesh Kinzaria. Thank you, gentlemen. The internal Confire team had been mentioned, but Jackie Larekovich, Chief Casada, Wendy Riley, thank you for your help. We spent a lot of time out here to make this happen. Thank you. All right. Would the Engine 16 company join us up front for the push-in, as well as all on-duty staff? Come join us for the push-in.
You guys need a hand? I mean, we're ready.
You guys are doing here, Mayor. Can you guys all spot us?
Mike and Candace, give us a hand.
Okay.
Give us a hand. Yep.
All right.
Come on, folks. Give us a hand. Got a little bit of uphill. We need a little extra help.
Feel the weight?
Come on, you guys. I can't do all of this.
So, the good news is we did it without the motor. The bad news is the power steering doesn't work unless the motor's on, so we couldn't quite get it straight. So, folks, that concludes our ceremony today. Thank you for being here. Please take some time, have some refreshments. We do have cake here, and take a walk through the firehouse and see the facilities that are going to be here protecting your community. Thank you very much.